Hey everybody, welcome back to another exciting episode of Ending Intermissions. I have a super special guest today. You want to introduce yourself?
Hey guys, I'm Annabelle Hasselbeck.
Hey, thanks for being on today, Annabelle. You want to talk a little bit about just where you are, where you grew up, just kind of life journey, and then we'll get into sports as well.
Yeah, well, pumped to be here. My name is Annabelle Hasslebeck again. I am living in Boston, Massachusetts, where I went to high school and college. Graduated from Boston College, where I played lacrosse in 2024. But do have a Washington State connection. Grew up in Seattle, Washington. Got to spend a lot of my summers in Eastern Washington, so super fun for me.
That is awesome. Boston College, huh? That's big time. Talk about your lacrosse journey then. How did you end up at BC? Because that's quite an accomplishment.
Yeah, it was incredible. I think the cool part about my lacrosse journey and story is that I never really thought that I would be playing college lacrosse, let alone just lacrosse growing up. Growing up in Washington, it wasn't really a hotbed for that sport. So it
Hmm.
wasn't until I was probably in seventh or eighth grade when I really found the sport and got introduced to it. And really, I wasn't into college, like college rah-rah spirit growing up. It just wasn't something my family was all about. We were always focused on maybe like NFL football that
Yeah.
was going on. And so we'd go to UW camps and clinics all the time growing up in Seattle, but really like I never had this, oh, I got to go to this one specific school. And it was really cool just how the Lord worked out my story that when we moved to Boston, Massachusetts, it's when I started to pick up lacrosse and get on a really great team with players who were way better than I was. So I could just try to copy everything they were doing. And Boston College women's lacrosse started to go on an amazing run, make it to their
Mm.
first Final Four. Then they made it to their first, three national championships in a row. And so for me, it was just cool to be around that. And not only at the same time that I was getting introduced to the sport of lacrosse, also be so close in proximity to a team that had so much hype and
Mhm.
enthusiasm around them. And so, literally, by the grace of God, don't know how I got recruited, but I was able to get recruited by Boston College and joined some incredible girls to play there. But really, my lacrosse journey started slow. I was
Mhm.
always the one on the team that couldn't really catch and throw because I was so new to it. But seeing the girls on my teams, really, even when I was living in Indiana and I was starting to pick it up in middle school, just following the girls who knew how to do better stick tricks or had been playing longer than me and really just trying to copy them and spending hours and hours outside practicing. And so it's really cool to see how the Lord worked that out and just so grateful for my experience.
I love how you picked it up late and you kept on going. It didn't stop you, right? Because so many kids now think if they're not an all-star at 9, they have no chance, right? And you're a testament to the opposite of all that, which is super cool. All right, you got to talk about lacrosse with me because, again, you mentioned it. You spent some time in Washington State, and lacrosse, on Northwest, I can't speak for California, the West Coast, but it is getting much bigger now. Like it's growing fast up here. We have high school clubs and kids are playing lacrosse more and more. But what about lacrosse is so special?
Yeah, that's a great question. And I think you just got to be an athlete. Like, really, that's what it is. And I think the reason I was able to play lacrosse in college at a high level when I didn't start from age 5, I didn't have that like historical skill from starting so young is because I played every other sport growing up. I swam,
Mm.
I danced, I did gymnastics, soccer, basketball, like you name it, played the sport. And I think that is what helped me so much later on. In gymnastics, build strength in your wrist so that you can take the
Mhm.
draw. Like there's all these little things that you might never even think about. But I think for me, like playing other sports is what really helped. And I think that's what's fun about lacrosse is that you can really pick it up. Yes, you have to practice and get the skill and be able to catch and throw and have that lacrosse IQ. But I think for anyone like looking to try something new, it was an incredibly in fun just game for me to play. My parents always joke that like once I put on the goggles, like I was a different person, and I love that because I really think that's what happened with me. And you can be so creative too with lacrosse. Is there's so many ways to shoot, there's so many ways to pass. Like it's a constantly evolving. And I was actually just sideline reporting for the Professional Men's Lacrosse League in Utah
Mhm.
this weekend, which is the best of the best, best in the world.
Mhm.
Lacrosse doesn't get any more elite than that. And just as a lacrosse fan, I was like, this is crazy. This is so cool. Like their skill level is incredible. But the the thing about that is if you kind of pull back why they're like that, these guys shoot those shots that they're taking millions of times throughout their
Hmm.
week. So
Hmm.
there's work that goes behind it for sure.
I love it. I love your two little nuggets there of one, be a multi-sport athlete. Don't specialize in a sport at nine years old. And then two, put the work in, right? Millions of reps. It's important in every aspect of life. So that's awesome. Okay, share with us, what's the hardest thing about lacrosse?
That's a great question. I think there's a lot of hard things that come with each season of where you're playing in. Probably like it's a physical sport. And so I
Hmm.
would say physical sport, but also a team sport. And so probably like finding that balance of how do I be enough for my team and
Hmm.
take the ball when I need to, drive to the hoop like you would in basketball. And when can I get creative and really make a play for my teammate? And so I think there's just so many opportunities in lacrosse to either bulldoze through someone and go right to net or create something and
Hmm.
draw the defensive slide and create movement on offense or on defense and find your open player. So I think the hard part about lacrosse is there's so much opportunity and
Hmm.
there's never one way to do it, one way to do offense, one way to do defense. It's really trying to figure out, okay, what's the balance or what's my play style, right? Like I've played with people who are all incredible assisters and incredible off ball players. I've also played with people who are just bull dodgers, like give it to this person and go. And I
Yeah.
think the best thing is trying to figure out, okay, how can I be some of both of that in finding your place on the team?